Hi, I'm Brock Crow. I'm an artist living in the Dominican Republic, and I'm documenting my journey from total noob to professional artist. Right now, I'm on week 9 of an online art school program, and we're going to be talking about an extremely intimidating subject in art today, the self-portrait. Self-portraits are not new in the art world. Actually, it's thanks to self-portrait culture that the selfie exists now. In a way, self-portraits are actually the oldest version of the selfie. Artist self-portraits are an interesting subcategory of portraiture. Although self-portraits have been made since the earliest of times, it's not until the early Renaissance, around the mid-15th century, that artists can be frequently identified, depicting themselves as either the main subject or as important characters in their work. A self-portrait is basically a representation of an artist about himself that does not necessarily need to be representational. The artist is free to draw himself in any style in order to represent the emotional and psychological features in their piece. But why do artists make self-portraits? What actually is the self-portrait? What can we learn from the artist? A self-portrait is a representation of an artist created by that artist. Throughout history, self-portraits have been made in every medium imaginable: photographs, paintings, drawings, sculptures, etc. From history, what can we learn from artists about self-portraits? We will cover the best topics of this area in this video. I've been in an online art program for a little over 9 weeks now, and this is the first assignment that has me really nervous. We'll be doing the portrait in a mirror versus using a reference photo, which will add a little bit of an extra layer of difficulty, but will help with our observational skills. Even though this is a difficult subject to represent, we shouldn't be scared to explore difficult subjects that intimidate us, as it is very important for us to grow on our artistic journey by challenging ourselves a little bit every time we sit down with the pencil. Luckily in this case, as I started to sketch, a lot of that fear and intimidation started to dissipate as I began to feel a strange connection to the sketch. It's a bizarre thing to stare at yourself in the mirror for a few hours while trying to capture a reasonable likeness. Self-portraiture can reveal things in your appearance that you may have never noticed before, even though most of us see our reflections on a daily basis. During the sketch phase, I felt oddly at peace attempting to draw myself for the first time. It was almost like an out-of-body experience, even though the likeness of the photo isn't exactly perfect. This feeling helped me zone out and really enjoy the process of trying portraiture for the first time. The idea in this study is that over the next 8 weeks, I'll be learning in-depth anatomy of the face, head, and facial features. There will be an assignment at the end of the 8 weeks to reattempt the self-portrait in the mirror, which hopefully yields a much better result. But art is like anything in our lives. It just takes a little bit of effort and consistency and practice and commitment to increase your skills every day. As long as you're doing a little better than you were yesterday, then you have succeeded as an artist. Although staring at yourself in a mirror can feel uncomfortable at first, using a mirror is one of the best ways to capture the realism that you desire. Here are a few tips that were super helpful for me and hopefully can help you improve your self-portraits drawn with mirrors. Position your mirror close. You can use any angle that you would like. Preferably, keep the mirror close to you in a position that's very comfortable, because you're going to be holding that position for quite a long time, and you want to make sure that you don't have to keep switching around or moving around, because the lighting will change and it will affect your end result. You want to try to stay as still as possible. As you look into the mirror, draw a red dot in the center of your eyes. That way you have a reference point in the mirror, so you know if you have to get up or move around, you can come back to the same position. You should also mark out where you're sitting. You can use something like masking tape, or if you have a chair that's like pretty sturdy, you can sit in that chair and then it probably won't move throughout the process. And you can also continue using that red dot reference in the mirror to make sure your position stays the same. Try to find a workable facial expression. Once you find a good expression that you're comfortable drawing or you'd like to try out, it's good to take a snapshot of this for reference later in case you lose your position or you have to do this in 2 sessions. Just in case drawing in the mirror doesn't work out, maybe the sun goes down, maybe the lighting changes too much. It just really depends on the situation, but having a photo will definitely help, especially towards the end if you want to really render out the details of this self-portrait. Try to really focus on what you're seeing instead of what's relative. A lot of us will see ourselves in the mirror and we take our head, our position, our body shape all as one shape. But really the human face and body is comprised of a bunch of simple shapes rendered out in 3D. It's good to really spend a lot of time in the observation phase, because what you're going to be doing is trying to sketch out those basic shapes of the head as quickly as possible. That way you can keep your proportions correct as you move throughout the process. As long as your proportions are correct, the details can come later. You want to try to make sure you do this part quickly. Sketching out your proportions is the most important part of any portrait. Make sure you save detailed rendering for the end. A lot of the minor shading and reflections and highlights, all this stuff is going to be icing on the cake. The real important part of this process is to make sure you're getting your proportions right. That way at the end, you can make sure that the whole face looks correct. Achieving a likeness of yourself is extremely difficult, but getting the proportions right is the first step on the path to achieving a realistic self-portrait. Using mirrors for portraiture is going to take a little bit of getting used to. It takes many hours of practice to achieve realistic results, and in art, you just want to make sure that you progress a little bit every single day. It's just good to have the pencil in your hand and gain the experience needed for mastery. Over time, you will eventually get there. Hopefully we all will. If you enjoyed this video, or me sharing my experience with you during my first self-portrait, please consider liking the video and subscribing. It would mean the world to me. And if you want to follow along with my progress through this next 2 years of art school, then it would be great. Then you'll get notified, and hopefully we'll be putting out 2 to 3 videos a week for the next 2 years. So I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.